What's the biggest unlock that you've had or like
Mm,
epiphany that you've had this year so far?
that's a good one. Unlock is changing my mindset and not being so fast to achieve things, but just take it one day at a time. A quote I said a while back is success isn't something you chase, it's something you attract by the person you become. So really internalize and just like my mindset and just keeping my composure, don't panic, don't stress out, and just rock and roll, man. Just take it one day at a time. And the other one is
All right, back at it. What's up, Jay?
what's going on, man? How we doing?
Doing good. Doing good. I know we are on somewhat of a time crunch today, so let's just dive right in. I want to kind of talk about a few things. Last time we talked about, faith in relationships, faith in just kind of your day and how we're trying to do more things, both of us, as far as routines that go into, carrying into our faith and just our goals that we have for this year for 2026. I'm curious, what are the things in your routine that you swear by that are your non-negotiables that you think everybody should have some version of?
Yeah, so kind of like faith or business or just in general?
Any, like, what do you think is the most helpful stuff that you just have ingrained in your routine?
Yeah. So not super, super recently, but I started back on my devotional. I've been doing that for quite some time. So waking up in the morning, doing my devotional, you got to have something that grounds you per day, every single day. So we do that, and then I write my prayers out. That's something I've learned to love because I was always like just speaking it, like just praying out loud, but writing it down, and then
Yeah.
like now I can go back and look at pages of what I used to pray for and just see that come to life. So that's a
Cool.
great thing that helps me stay grounded. And I recently started going to a men's leadership group, which we spoke about a few times, but that's a non-negotiable. Every Tuesday morning at 6:30 a.m., I will be there. But yeah, the things that really keep me the most grounded are things that connect me to my faith, and just understand that I may not be where I want to be, or I have all of these things I want to achieve, but I just take it one day at a time. So men's leadership, Bible study, mandatory. Morning devotional and morning prayer, absolutely mandatory. Every single morning.
Okay. Love it.
What about you? I'm
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear what have you done? I know we spoke about you reading the Bible every morning, and what other things you have going on that's
Yeah, it's funny
non-negotiable.
because I got a journey or a journal as well where Mike got it for us, which is like a daily prayer and gratitude journal. And so every day, it's got like a morning portion that you fill out and a nighttime portion you fill out. And so I've actually really enjoyed that because you wake up, you write down like what your prayer request is for the day. You write down three things that you want to give thanks for today, and then how you're going to make today an amazing day. And then at night, you write down three great things that happen three blessings from the day, like what were, looking back, what were three blessings that just happened today. You write down and then how you're going to make tomorrow even better. And so, like every single morning and night, you fill those things out, and it's already kind of been cool of looking at different things that I wrote down as a prayer request one day and then how they've kind of evolved. And we've only been doing that for like 2 or 3 weeks now. But I think that's been a really cool kind of exercise. Trying to do or doing scripture before screens every day, reading the Bible a whole lot more. Those have been great. I definitely need to institute some more like activity stuff and make those kind of
Amen.
non negotiables just with how everything's gone and being sick and a lot of excuses. But just getting back into some sort of routines there is something that I need to focus on. And then also trying to be really intentional on a daily and weekly kind of basis of just being whatever I can be to help out with Kens,
Yes.
um, and just be there for Kens. That's been really big recently. But a big routine that we swear by is date night, like scheduled date
Mhm,
night.
mhm.
And the pushback I've always heard on like scheduling out date nights is that makes it not spontaneous and that makes you not look for opportunity. Like we can still go on dates outside of scheduled date night, right? But
100%.
that makes sure that bare minimum, right? You fall to the level of your system. So bare minimum, we have 3 hours set aside on Friday
Mhm,
nights. Both of us have it blocked off on our calendars. I get home by 6 p.m. at the absolute latest,
mhm.
and that's date time. Like that's time for just Kenzie and I. So that's been a really great part of just like my weekly routine is making sure that that's there.
Definitely. And that's good stuff. The prayer journal and the gratitude and saying how you can make things better. I feel like it's more revealing than anything. you're like, "Okay, what did I accomplish today?" Like, "Okay,
Mhm.
there's nothing down here that I accomplished, so what can I do better tomorrow?" So it's more so of a revealing, it's kinda humbling, like, just seeing like, "Man, I just wasted an entire day." So that's something I'm definitely interested in getting started. That sounds amazing. And I don't wanna spiral out of control here and take us off topic, but one thing I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs don't really talk about is when 2 entrepreneurs or 2, like, high performing people are in a relationship, like, you gotta have that time blocked off. Like,
Mhm.
if you're not in the game like we are, then you're like, just it's not spontaneous, like, you don't need to schedule, but it's actually like that. When you're
Yeah.
trying to build a business and report to all of these people, and this is something that Addison and I recently did, like, Saturdays, no work. We gotta take Saturdays off because we would work all day Friday, work all day Saturday, work all day Sunday, and by when Monday comes around, we're drained from the weekend because we don't take any time off. So having
Mhm.
time blocked for each other is very important. Whatever you're not nurturing, by default, it's going to decay. So if you're not nurturing your relationship, your health, your relationship with God. Like it by default, it gets worse. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So I agree with yeah, definitely.
No, I think that's 100% a really, really good, um, note there because it was always that's how it always was as you and it's easy to
Always.
justify just being like, "Hey, we're in our" I always make the joke of like, "We're in our rocky cutscene right now." Like, we're putting in all the work, where this is the time of life where I've gotta do all these things, and I've gotta work these hours, and I've gotta
Mhm.
sacrifice these things. And, the reality is you can always justify not doing it,
Exactly.
but the power is in justifying that you have to do it, like setting aside time for your priorities. And whenever your schedule starts to fill up and you got a lot of people that depend on you and you got a lot of just responsibilities in your business,
Exactly.
um, what's on your calendar is your priority. So you have to schedule the things that are most important to you.
Exactly.
And that's got to be your significant other if you're in a relationship.
Yeah, it has to be. Make sure that they understand they're still a priority, even though you're building this multi six, 7 figure business. It all boils down to you say like a system. If we know Saturdays are for us, we know when it's date night, phones upside down in our pockets, we're not even looking at them. So
Hmm.
it's a great idea. I mean, even if you aren't super busy, if you're watching this, you should still give this a try, 100%, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely love that.
What are your thoughts? Because I was talking to somebody, I don't remember if it was last week or the week before on the podcast about um, the idea of side hustles, the idea of I guess like your 5 to 9, right?
Mhm.
And taking a leap. Because I know you started out as you got a degree as a civil engineer and you went and worked for a little bit. Was there a period of time where you were doing both, or how did you handle the transition?
Yeah, so I think we briefly spoke about it a few podcasts ago. But man, I
Okay.
worked at Waffle House, at Home Depot. I worked with my dad construction, right? We woke up at 3 a.m., got home at 9:30 some days. I had to wake up and do it all over again. So when I would get home, specifically from construction, we would work and I would get home. Let's say it was like a Thursday or Friday, I would get home at 6 or 6:30 because we got off early, straight to the gym. My dad would be like, "Dang, you're going to the gym after 10 hours of lifting blocks and throwing like mortar mix, like the cement, like doing all of that." I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to do. So I would go to work, come home, go to the gym, do cardio, record content, go home, all again.
Mm.
So I leave it. And I know like doing construction, I mean, I have my engineering degree but I don't know, for some reason I love this lifestyle so much. Like I enjoy working out. So I'm like, man, whatever time I have left, I have to make this a thing. Like I have to keep going. So then I started posting and then it started blowing up, got traction, got likes, got sponsorships. And I'm like, man, I got to do it. This is what I got to do. So yeah, definitely maximize the amount of time you have outside and just make it happen. Just grind.
Yeah, I think it's really glorified, like you were saying, the whole just take the leap, just jump, just go for it. And there is a certain subset of person that needs to do that, and
Mhm.
that's the person that's been working on this side hustle and they're kind of burning the candle at both ends and they've got something here and I mean, Addie was like this, right? We had been doing this coaching thing for over a year and it was making good money and it was
Mhm.
making as much, if not more, than her current role that she was doing, working an hourly job. And she was just like too scared to stop her hourly job and we were bottlenecked because she didn't have enough time because she was working this hourly job making, whatever it was, 12 bucks an hour. And then she would work on the business where she would maybe make like 50 or 70 or 100 bucks an hour with like
Yeah.
her actual time to earnings output. And what I kept trying to get her to understand is like, hey, you're sacrificing, like you're making the business smaller because it has to stay a side hustle right now.
Exactly.
And if you would just go all in, and it took her a while to understand that she needed to take that leap, right?
Hmm.
A lot of people, I think, to your point, leap too early and
Yes.
they just get caught up in like the glorification that they see online of like, well, you just got to go all in on yourself from day one and expect to make what you need. Like, especially if you are strapped for cash, definitely like save up as much money as possible while working your 9 to 5 and use
Hmm.
that money to where anything that you make in your 5 to 9 is just cherry on top and save, 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 save. Like,
Exactly.
don't take a leap until you have a minimum 3 to 6 months of money saved up, like expenses saved up, ready to go.
Bare minimum, and that's exactly what I did before I moved out here. I was just saving, at home and not really paying any rent or any bills. So just save as much money as you can. It's good to take that leap of faith, but make sure it's calculated. Make sure you understand what you're getting yourself into. Because people think entrepreneur and they're like, "Now I'm gonna make 6 figures a year. I'm gonna do this and do that." It's not like that. Like no one is going to do it for you. Like no one wakes Addison and I up in the morning and say, "You got to work today." Like it's all on you. And your bank account, the circumstances you're in it are a direct reflection of the effort you put in. Like you can't get more out than what you put in. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's the topic of entrepreneurship and a lot of people don't talk about. Like it's not always comfortable. It's not always easy. But what you do in those moments, like the sink or swim moments, really define who you are and really show you if you're built for this life or not. It's not easy.
Mhm.
It is not easy
No,
at all.
100% is not. We've been talking about a lot of changes to the podcast coming up. So I'm
Yeah.
curious if anybody is a regular listen here, what they think about this. But since you guys are moving to Dallas within the next couple of months, what we're thinking about doing is transitioning this to an in-person pod with you, Addie, and I, where we can kind of
Yeah.
team up and win arguments against her. So, what? Yeah, are you excited for that? Like, what are your kind of thoughts on, I guess, what the pod's gonna look like moving forward?
I'm super, super excited. Addison and I talk about it all the time, but just being around you, man, just being in like the close proximity and just talking about like faith and life and business, I feel like it's going to be, well, I don't feel, I know it's going to be something special. I just feel like this is the next thing, God has in store for us. Both of us, you've been through some things and I've been through some things, and it's time to just tell the world what we overcame to be right here. Because people just see us like with like all of the followers, the big business, but man, they have no idea of what we went through to get here. Like Addison always tells me, like you were trying to sell shoes, like resell sneakers, and
Yeah,
selling things at school. Like I saw this video once, and they would put sugar on like gummy worms or something and wrap it in bags. And I tried to do that. And man, they made so much fun of me. It was
mhm,
hilarious. But just trying to be an entrepreneur, like how can I make money online? Man, after school, I would look that up every single day. Like, how can I
mhm.
make money online? How can I drop out of school or whatever the case may be? But yeah, I'm super excited to just take a deep dive into all of that good stuff. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool kind of transitioning to, I mean, this podcast has 68 other episodes that have been more, I guess, interview based, where it's like
Hmm.
me interviewing somebody else. So I'm really excited for a transition to making this more conversational. We'll still have guests on from time to time, and
Yeah.
there might be days where or weeks where it's like just you and Addie on the pod, or just
Hmm.
you and I, or maybe it's all three of us, or and it might be times where we have the three of us plus one person that's virtual, or plus
It's gonna
one
be
extra
great.
person that's in person. So I think it's gonna be a cool kind of format. I'm excited to just have it be more conversational based, because
Yes.
I do enjoy the interviews, but I don't know, also want to just be able to contribute to the conversation
Mhm.
talk a little bit more without the I don't know, pressure, I guess, of making it to where it is we have to have like a bunch of questions and I have to make sure that this person stays on a talk track that's cohesive and like there's
Exactly.
a lot of stuff that goes into it that people probably don't think about as far as an interview versus being able to just be with, with family, especially like majority of the time and just like talk about things. It,
Great.
it opens up our range of what we can talk about because it's not the same thing every episode where it's just, how did you
Interview.
start? Where did you, what was the journey that got you here? What was adversity that you went through? And then how did you figure it out? And like, tell me about the thing that you've made. It's
Mhm.
going to be more, we can talk about current events. We can talk about what's going on in life right now. We can talk about what
Yeah.
we're excited for, what we're not excited for. We can talk about the highs, the lows. It's just going to open up a lot.
Yeah. I know I 100% agree. Because I feel like now people are, I see it all the time, but people are tired of information and they just
Hmm.
want something that's real. They want a connection. They want to talk to us. They want to hear from us. So just adding that another level of depth, if you will, to who we are and, talking about our backstory and just the things we had to go through to get to where we are, and expand to just personal things, you and your marriage and Addison and I, and just take a deep dive into that. I'm so excited. And the
Yeah.
the interview style is cool, but I feel like when you really just talk, like people see who you are. Talk about like the
Hmm.
trending topics and your opinion on things, and yeah, just set it up and run it for an hour, and let's just
Yeah.
talk. Let's have a conversation. So I'm definitely excited about that.
Totally. Me too.
It'll be awesome.
We also talked about setting up and trying to organize some sort of a Bible study. And
Yes,
we've gotten some good feedback. I know you and I are both excited about it, but
very.
we're also trying to figure out how to make that virtually accessible too for band members, maybe any other guys that kind of want to tune
Yeah.
in. What ideas do you have for that?
Yeah, once we get in person, I would love to do something that's with me, you, and like a few of your other friends, like close friends. I have a few friends in Dallas as well. I'll definitely invite them out, but have something where it's like a brotherhood. We can sit down and read the Bible or go out and like bowl or something. Some sort of
Mhm.
activity and really make it a community. And then from there we can expand to virtually like online, like we can live stream the sessions or whatever the case may be. But step one would definitely be get like a tight knit group of everyone on the same page. Like you don't have to be a business owner, you just got to be a man of God, a
Yeah.
God fearing man. That's the only requirement. But yeah, that'd be so dope. And like the one I'm at right now, it's we open up with prayer and then we read a scripture and then we talk about that scripture and then we do prayer at the end. So it's not like we're teaching or we're preaching, but it's like podcast. Like what do you guys, how do you feel about this book in the book of James? This chapter in the
Mhm.
book of James or the book of Proverbs. It's more conversational than informational than like preaching, you know? So that's exactly how we'll run ours for sure.
Yeah. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I think
That's gonna be dope.
there will be some lifting in terms of setting up the curriculum for it, but I
Yeah.
think once we kinda get that, and especially if we can find, like, some type of commonality in terms of the type of person that's in, whether it is business owners or whether it is athletes or whether it is people that are wanting to do XYZ, I think
Mhm.
that'll help us to figure out too what is gonna be the most valuable for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for that. I think that's gonna be awesome. So hopefully we'll be able to start that in the next month or 2.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree. I like that a lot because the Bible like ranges, right? It could be talking about business, like you said, depending on who we have in the group or whatever the case may be. But it can be like a seasonal thing, where it's okay, what's everyone dealing with right now? Is it, I don't know, is it self-control or you're not being kind enough or you're cussing all the time, whatever the case may be. And then we can just take like a month, right? 4 weeks to take a look at this book or that book and see what's going on. How can we help? You know? I
Mhm.
think it's gonna be dope, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. I'm curious, we're almost 1 full month into the new year. What is the biggest unlock or let's just say unlock. What's the biggest unlock that you feel like you've had or like
Mhm.
epiphany that you've had this year so far?
That's a good one. I would say it's kind of like a trifecta, like three things. So the men's leadership Bible study, like I keep saying that, but it makes me feel so good. First thing in the morning, I'm talking to the guys, and that's a big one. Unlock is changing like my mindset and not being so fast to achieve things, but just take it one day at a time. So
Mm,
before I would always struggle with, we talked about this before because you agree, just struggling with like thinking about the future, like, oh man, like I got to do this, I got to do that. And it started creating anxiety. But now I make it like a daily thing to just take it one day at a time. And a quote I said a while back is, success isn't something you chase, it's something you attract by the person you become. So really
mm,
internalizing that and just like my mindset and just keeping my composure, don't panic, don't stress out, and just rock and roll, man. Just take it one day at a time.
yeah.
So men's leadership, that unlocks like, man, these guys are crushing it. There's like accountants in there, there's guys that work for the Houston Texans in there, there's a pastor in there, and these guys are like doing really well for themselves. So just being around that is super motivating. And the other one is the daily prayers and daily devotional and just a mindset shift.
Mhm. So
What
on
about
that
you?
kind
I'm
of
curious to hear you.
yeah, on that, before I forget, I saw a video today that just, like, broke my mind about a way like, how the wealthy do their taxes with, like, family foundations and stuff,
Mm,
and it just put me down an entire rabbit hole about all these videos that I, like, save for later to watch to learn more about. That's something I don't think very many people understand is
I
I
don't.
definitely do not understand how to use it
Mhm.
to my best ability. We've talked about that before, just like privately. So I might send you some of these videos later because I'm gonna try and figure out what are the like how do you move the X's and O's around behind the scenes to set
Yeah.
yourself up and your family up for success. But I think the biggest thing as far as an unlock for me this year has been I don't know, it probably sounds weird, but I've been messing around with Claude a whole lot more
What's
and
that?
using it. It's like another AI, so it's like
Mm,
ChatGPT. So
got it.
it's one of the other major ones. I think it thinks a lot better than GPT and it's more thorough in terms of its outputs, but I've been using it to create a lot of the stuff that I've been trying to create this year,
Mm,
and it has helped out a ton just in terms of organizing my thoughts. So that's been a major kind of hack for me is just switching to Claude for everything. It's funny
good
because
stuff.
I still can't disable my GPT subscription because I think the entire family line all uses GPT.
Really? I have my own separate one. Addison had access to mine for a little bit, but did she switch back to yours?
I have no idea. I know there's always new chats in there every day, so I know several people are using it.
That's hilarious.
So I just leave it going, but yeah, Claude's been really good. Obviously, same thing with, like, the faith stuff where I just signed Kinsey and I up for Rooted, so it's like a Rooted is like I guess you'd call it like a life group on steroids, so it's
Mm,
one of the things that our church recommends that you do to, like, start going deeper with the church and, like, what your next steps are.
yeah.
So it's like that's like a 10-week course. We're doing it the married version of it, so we're gonna be doing that
Oh,
together. It'll be like a weekly thing for 10 weeks. But I
that's
think
awesome.
for me, it's just been trying to ask myself daily, weekly, monthly, what is the version of myself that how can I start walking as the person that I need to become by the end of this year or the end of next year
It's awesome.
in order to accomplish what I want to accomplish? How can I start walking as that person today?
Mm,
And so like what does that person's day look like? What does their week look like? What does their
mm,
hour look like? What types of
good.
meetings are they on? What types of
Mhm,
stuff are they posting on social media? What types of things are they talking about with their friends and with their family? What type of husband is that person? What
mhm,
type of potential father is that person? Like, what does that guy do each and every day? And so I've just been
mhm.
trying to think about and be intentional about if I know I want to go here, it would be unreasonable for me to believe that I'm just going to one day wake up and be a different person. Like, I have to be intentional
Exactly.
now, start
Exactly.
moving, start acting like start attracting today, like you said,
Yep.
that person so that all the things that that person can inevitably accomplish start to come to me.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's a big part of what that quote helps me internalize. It's what can I do now that'll get me to where I want to be in the future. I remember very vividly a few weeks ago, I told Addison about it. As soon as I woke up, I'm like, I'm going to be kind today. I'm going to practice gratitude today. I have to be this person. Like, I don't know why, like my mind just went there. But I told you that I've been listening to a lot of like, not necessarily the podcast, but like Myron Golden, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins. Alex Hormozy, and it's a few other guys, but just listening to that every second of the day, like no hardcore custom music, like from the moment I wake up to the time I go to bed for the last, I want to say like maybe like 19, 20-ish days. That's all it's been. And I can feel myself just transforming, and just remembering these quotes and these scriptures. And it really helps me like get up in the morning and just stay grounded. Like
Mm.
everything's not figured out right now, but just doing the things I have to do right now will 100% get me to where I want to be later. So it's the most grounded thing you can do. Just constant repetition of listening to high quality people speak about a high quality life. It's awesome. It's amazing.
Did you, did you listen to the Tony Robbins, Alex Hormozy podcast?
I listened to a little bit of it and I saw clips online. I told myself I was gonna watch it and I completely forgot. So thank you for reminding me. I will watch
Yeah.
that too, for sure.
I gotta watch it too. I didn't know if you had and what your thoughts were, because I've seen a bunch of stuff about on both sides of, like,
Yeah.
people loving it, people not loving it, and, I guess just takes on it. Everyone's
Mhm.
posting, like, a reaction video to it, so I'm
Yeah,
curious. I need to watch it too.
I need to watch it. I saw a clip of Alex Hormozy just kind of taking a deep dive into someone said, like, I always want more, kind of like what we were talking about. Like, I have success down. Like, I know what to do to make millions of dollars, but I don't feel fulfilled. Like, I don't know how to feel that feeling of like I finally made it. And Tony Robbins was just giving him insight, just from one clip that I saw, insight of how to unlock that, and just asking them like thought provoking questions, like, "What do you feel about this? What do you feel about that?" So just from that clip, that tells me I need to watch it. It
Yeah.
seems really good. Definitely down
Yeah.
to kind of chat about that next time we're on the podcast.
Yeah. We definitely need to. The take that I saw was people talking about how Tony kinda dismantled everything that Alex has always talked about of, like, you've
Yeah,
gotta suffer, you've gotta embrace the suck, you've gotta, like, push yourself, there's quit complaining, just do more type of thing, and I guess from a few of the recaps that I've seen, it's been people talking about, well, I guess Hormozy has just been driven by being super unhappy and, like, some of the
mm,
stuff with his dad apparently at some point, and that all manifests itself as, like, him being this guy that just
yeah,
works nonstop all the time, is just
workhorse.
never satisfied with anything ever. So, that's obviously just me watching recap videos and recapping the recaps, so I've gotta go watch it and make my own opinions, but
Mhm.
I'm curious to see hear what you think as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely down to watch that and chat about that on our next podcast, because both of
Cool.
those guys, they have like a like kind of a different way they look at life. Like Alex Ramosi is big on like put your emotions to the side, like just work, just stop complaining and make it happen. But Tony Robbins is more feel those emotions and understand why you're here. There's
Yeah.
something greater than you out there, and you should always stay humble. So it's very cool just seeing both of them be so successful in their own things in life. And I've been watching a lot more of Tony Robbins. He's not afraid to hide his emotion. That's what
Yeah.
honestly draws me to him. He's been like on videos crying and all this good stuff. So it's definitely cool to see. It's good stuff.
Yeah. I have a buddy, Michael Smoke, he went to a Tony
Mhm.
Robbins event, like, 3 weeks ago. Tony had
I saw
invited him
that.
to the event,
Yeah.
and he said that from Tony came out at, like, 2 PM and did not and came out and just started doing, like, stuff in the crowd
Hmm.
with people. He started doing, like, one-on-one, like, problem solving, like, he stopped a couple of divorces, stopped a couple of like, the stuff that you see hit clips of him all
That's
online doing.
crazy. Yeah.
He did that from 2 PM until, or no, it was, like, 3 PM or 4 PM maybe, until 2 AM at night.
That's so crazy. I
And
saw that on your story actually.
Michael said he didn't go get a drink, he didn't eat, he didn't go to the bathroom, nothing. Just
That's awesome.
for, like, 9 or 10 hours straight, he just did that. And Michael was
Crazy.
like, "I was so exhausted, I had to leave after that," but there was more of the event going. Like,
That's
it
crazy.
was he said it was the craziest thing he's ever seen in his life. So, he's got some sort of a different drive, some sort of a different calling for sure, Tony Robbins
Definitely.
does.
That's crazy. That's awesome. That's good
Yeah.
stuff, man.
Yeah. Well, we'll recap that next podcast then. We'll jump in and we'll talk about the Hormozy and, Tony Robbins podcast, but I appreciate you, dude, especially
Of
with
course.
time constraints and trying to figure out all of our tech stuff for a little while. I appreciate you and your time, and yeah, man, just excited for the future, excited for the rest of this year with you.
Definitely, man. Likewise, and we'll make sure all of the tech things are ready to rock and roll next time. Yeah, man, I always love being on the podcast, and I'm super excited to have it in person and really just take a deep dive into all of the good stuff that God is doing in our life and things going on behind the scenes. It's great stuff.
Like, let's get it. Appreciate you,
All right,
Jay.
brother. Yes, sir. Until next time.